you've run your first program, I'd like to share with you some tips for learning to code. First is, do try the code. Do pause the videos and do run the code. And to test your understanding of how a line of code works, try asking yourself questions like, what do I think will happen if I leave a quotation mark out? Or if I accidentally have 2 instead of 1 closing parentheses? And see if you are right. To give yourself practice, I also encourage you to complete the practice exercises. And I also encourage you to use the chatbot as often as you want. Think of the AI chatbot as your buddy or your coding companion who knows Python pretty well and is patient and just wants to help you out. While going through this course, you might think of some what if or why questions. What if I did that? Why is it like that? Go ahead and ask the chatbot as many questions as you want. You can also ask your chatbot to explain code. And sometimes asking it, how does this code work? What is this doing? That might help you understand what a piece of code is actually doing. And this is actually what professional software developers do today as well. When there's a piece of code I don't understand, I will paste it into chatbot sometimes and see if it can help me out. And when you're coding and running code, it's totally fine if something doesn't work the first time round. Errors in code are completely expected. After all, this may be a brand new language for you. And just as when you're learning to speak Spanish or French for the first time, you won't say everything right the first time round. We should expect the same when you're learning a new programming language. You won't get everything right the first time round. And if it doesn't work the first time round, that's totally fine. Just try a different approach if you can think of one, or ask the chatbot for help. And in fact, the chatbot can also help you read and understand error messages. Finally, instead of just copy-pasting answers from the chatbot into your code, consider also reading the chatbot's response to see if the chatbot can share with you a new perspective or teach you something rather than just give you the answer. And that way, hopefully you also keep on deepening your understanding of coding. I hope you feel free to learn at your own pace. So pause the videos whenever you want. When I'm learning online, I'll often pause the video when I feel like I need to think and then come back only when I feel like I've gotten and want to move on. And feel free to go as fast or as slow as you want to make sure you're understanding these concepts. Learning to code is really fun, and I hope these tips make this even more enjoyable for you. And with that, let's go on to the next video on data in Python.